Welcome to For Real Watchers Radio Show, worldwide live, with the best experts as guests. And with your hosts, Jerry Dean and Brett Warner. Expect bone-chilling and heart-pounding stories of paranormal, ufology, supernatural stories, and breathtaking encounter after encounter. Join us as we dive into the abyss of the unknown. Every Friday night, 8 p.m. Central and 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on the best paranormal network, Paranormal King Network. Dead between your eyes, pulling no punches. We'll see you on the other side. Be prepared for anything. Weak hearts dare not enter. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday to all. Welcome to another edition of For Real Watchers Radio. We are live for every Friday night right here, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here on the Paranormal King Radio Network. I am your host, Brett.
And I'm your other host, Jerry Dean. And, man, we got somebody crazy with us tonight, Brett.
We sure do, man. It's been an interesting week. Thank God it's Friday. Nice radio show. It's been a hard week. Looking forward to the weekend this week. Got some hunts planned out, so it's going to be a good week, brother.
I do, too. I'm going to hunt down some Bud Light and an easy chair. And
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where, that's what paranormal investigators hunt when they get older. Bud Lights.
Well, you know, that's us, bro.
So anyways.
All right, who we got, man?
Well, we got somebody from my old stomping ground, hailing out of the great state of Illinois, up in Chicago, I believe, formerly from Kentucky. She is a paranormal investigator, recording artist, producer, radio host in the past, songwriter. Probably a lot of things to talk about tonight. Jerry, who we got?
I'm thinking we've got Tasha Starr with us. Tasha, are you there with us, son?
Yes, sir, I am.
About to say, man, come on now. I know you're from Kentucky. You laid back, but you up there in Chicago making new habits. Hey, how you liking it up there?
Making new habits. I love it. Hey, excuse my accent.
Well, hey, I got one of them things too. But you know what?
I was going to say yours probably worse than mine.
Well, you know, I'm kind of from that big state called Texas. Texas, baby. Anyway, so how you liking it up there except for the haunting house that you've already moved into with some activity? That stuff just follows you. Don't it, Brett?
Well,
I swear, bro. Follows you.
No,
it's been good.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff in Chicago to see. Believe me, all the way down, all around that state.
It's not actually in Chicago, you all.
Y'all.
I said you all.
Man, that is not
y'all.
Chicago talk there. We don't say y'all and yen. We don't say y'all and yens up there.
You and
Oh, no, it's going to be a fun show. I can see it. Hey, darling, I'm going to tell you what, man, Brett is going to be able to keep up with you in this. I promise you, I got an amazing host with me. This girl.
It's not in Chicago, though. It's in Naperville. I told him that the other night.
He's busting your chops.
Yeah, it's down by Naperville.
Oh, well, I'm going to get used to it from this time.
Naperville. Y'all hear that?
Naperville. All right. Naperville. All right.
Said it, though.
Naperville. Hey, man, I'm going to Naperville this here weekend. Y'all coming? Get the truck. We're going to Naperville. All right, anyway, so Naperville pretty cool? Or I'm sorry, anyway. Naperville. All the Naperville lists all over the world right now, man.
Chicago, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it's quiet. I'm not used to this because there's a lot of, where I'm from, you already know that, Jerry.
Well, you ain't quiet anyway.
I'm there in the ghetto. And shut up again.
I'm sorry. I know
Let
it.
me talk. I'm the guy. So anyway, I used to gunshots and stuff down there. And these, whoa, I better watch my language. But these people over there, they was lighting off fireworks. I thought it was gunshots.
That's weird. Well, yeah, I keep thinking of Chicago, Naperville. Maybe Naperville's a little quieter because, Chicago, the gunshots, that's just another Friday night. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Naperville is quieter, though. Certainly wasn't where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't
Naperville
know if
sounds a lot like
anybody's
a
around.
Mayberry to me.
Yeah,
Don't
we
it?
had
What'd you say?
Said Naperville, whatever. It sounds a lot like Mayberry to me. By there, one bullet. Welcome to Mayberry.
Mayberry over, yeah, or over yonder, you know.
Over yonder. Well, hey, you want to tell everybody a little bit about you, how you got into the paranormal, where it all started, your first encounter, whatever else you want to say, sweetie.
Well, basically, I was born this way. I'm not going to use, no, I'm not going to use this word psychic, but I hate that. I'm very sensitive to stuff, and I've been involved all my life. So I pick up on stuff around me, but I have been involved in some investigations with, and I hate to bring up our favorite people, Ghost Adventures, but...
Oh, don't then. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'd laugh too.
Well, we got to be nice.
But, you know, but that's why I don't deal with a team or nothing like that, because I'm the one, I'd like to just do this on my own.
Right.
Now, I have had a couple of investigations where I offered close personal friends come with me, and that's about it. You know, I just make my way through life and go on with it.
Personal
I don't
friends.
need a damn team. I don't need a show.
Who's your personal
That's
friends?
what I've said on my... Excuse me, what'd you say?
I said, who is your personal friends? I said, like Casper. Who are you talking about? Give some names.
Oh, come on.
You worked with a team for a while.
I was talking about like these people I went to high school with, but invite them in and do stuff like that. But musician, songwriter too, I got to throw that out. And I just roll through life. And I'm a comedian.
Well, how on earth have you been? You've always been a comedian. How you been?
I've been all right.
What's the question?
I feel like I'm getting a head cold.
Head cold?
Yeah.
Well, honey, you are up north now. So let's get into some old time fashion, man. Get down to some hunting down there that you did, investigating in Kentucky at the Hall, the White Hall, right?
Yeah, in Richmond.
Okay,
yeah, you want to extended. But they were good spirits, though.
Okay.
Except there was one, his wife. She didn't like us at all. And you can go to my YouTube and see it. It's just crazy, the screams that we got.
And who was that? What are you talking about? I mean, who was the one that didn't like you?
Tasha Clay's wife, which I think her name was Mary Jane. But
okay.
Yeah, Mary Jane Warfield. She created a lot of chaos that night.
Well, do tell. We got a whole audience itching to hear.
Well, turning stuff on and off by itself, we thought it was like, what in the hell is going on here? But then, as soon as that stuff started happening, it was like, and I've got it on camera, and the scream, it was like a old lady. I literally ran outside. I said, I don't know what the world's going on right now, but I'm going outside. I left my own damn investigation.
You left your own investigation? Oh, good Lord.
I did. I said, no, I'm going outside, and I didn't smoke no cigarette or nothing. I had to take a damn breath because it was so heavy in there at that point. And she was really mad. If you read the history on that, where they had reconstructed the house, and she was a big part of it. And then he left her. Guess who he married?
Oh, no.
A 15-year-old ballerina from Russia. and he was 82, I think, at the time. He always liked little girls.
And you're talking about Cassius Clay, right?
Yeah, I am.
So you said to me and Brett the other night when we're all talking that you've had this guest has been following you for a few years, huh?
Attachment.
Or attached at the hip.
And I felt always, and I know I'm like 7 hours away from there, but I still feel like I'm drawn back to that place. They're not mean, except her, but he's a nice guy. He was an emancipationist, actually, for Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
And he was a fireball because he had a cannon, and he would take it out on his balcony and shoot at the tax people that used to come after him. That's why I like him.
Oh, no, I figured that much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so when you were down in, when you lived down there in Kentucky, I mean, you used to talk to me about a lot of different places you guys would go, and you made conferences, I know that, but tell our audience just exactly, you don't have to get personal, but you might want to tell them some things that you experienced in that area. Now, what I understand from other investigators, and Brett, me and him talked to a few of them in Kentucky. Through the years, I've talked to a few, and there's a lot of activity, not just at that hall, but all over Kentucky. So do you think you could tell some folks out there, our listeners, where some places that they might want to investigate?
Go to Bobby Mackey's.
Bobby Mackey's? What's so special about it?
He's still allowing that, because, well, the history of it, first off, and it was on Ghost Adventures, and it's been on a couple other shows, but I was there personally, and now if you want dark and evil, go there.
Yeah, I know there's quite a few stuff in Kentucky. I already talked to you earlier. I'm from North Carolina, but I think everyone in this hemisphere has been over to Waverly Hills. That's one of the places.
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's over in Louisville. That's one of the most, actually not in Kentucky, but that's one of the most 5 haunted places in the world. And I've been there twice. So it's definitely, any places like that you've been to around the state?
So what happened with you at Waverly Hills? I mean, I always wanted to go there, but they always had it really booked up.
Well, it is. I mean, you need an appointment only, but they do a lot of tours in that. Anymore right now, it's a tourist attraction. But I guarantee you're going to get some EVPs out there, and you'll probably get a lot of stuff on videotape too. I mean, people have been going out there for years and years and years. But I think I'd have to look. I'm sure. I mean, as big as that place is and as well known it is, I'm sure there's been TV crews out there already. Some of the people who've been out there investigating for years and years still say that's one of the most haunted places in all of Kentucky. But yeah, there's you got what else out there? June Tolliver's house. I believe that's out. Well, that's in Virginia, maybe.
Octagon Hall is a good one. That's outside of Bowling Green, in southern Kentucky.
That's down by Franklin, isn't it?
Yes, it is in Franklin.
Okay.
And that's where I helped my friends do a music video down there.
Oh, okay, cool. So, I think Jerry asked you earlier, so what really got you into this? I mean, it's just you discovered that at an early age?
Get me into it because I had been in this ever since I can remember. Like 3, 4 years old, I was picking up on stuff.
Seeing stuff, or what do you mean picking up on it? Just
picking up, literally feeling it, not seeing it.
Just feeling that something wasn't right, huh? And you decided to start chasing them, huh?
I started having some weird dreams too, but nothing's changed. Now I'm 41.
Yeah.
But no, shut up, Jerry. Quit laughing.
I'm not laughing. I was going to say, you got a strong discernment.
I heard you. It don't matter because we already went through it. Anyway, but I've just been, I deal with the cards I was dealt, put it that way.
Hmm. Now, how often are you getting into it still right now? Or are you like kind of on a break? You mentioned you're not going out as much
Ain't
as
no
you used
break.
to.
I'm done. If it comes to me, it does. I don't do an active investigation. No, because I've learned my lesson. Why can't people leave the spirits alone?
Okay. Now, what was your lesson? Because I know you're pretty
Don't
tough on.
bother them. I mean, damn, they dead.
What happened to you? That was your lesson. What happened? Tell us, because I know you're pretty tough. Come on now, spill the beans.
I
I
guess
want to
I
hear.
just went through a lot dealing with it, and I don't want to. I still deal with it to this day, but I don't want to deal with it like getting all these people together and let's go conjure up some spirits and use our spirit box and this and that. Leave them alone. That's the lesson, the basis of it, and that's what I've learned.
Okay.
I think. I mean, that's a pretty big statement. I think a lot of people out there, even paranormal investigators, many of them are skeptics. There's a lot of people out there with equipment that still don't wholeheartedly believe in it. So I don't think it's not all, but I know some people do, but not everybody. Not out there to, poke them in their sides or mess with them, but simply to get evidence, or maybe to
Right.
quench their own curiosity. Sometimes things go bad, but
and that's fine, with me. But that there's enough. Like, okay, you can take a lot of these paranormal shows on TV, which I'm not going to name some of them, but I mean, leave it alone. It's there, and if y'all don't recognize it, then go on somewhere.
Well, we're talking about Hollywood now, though. A whole different ball game. Half of it, whether you like them or not, it. I mean, come on, man, it's Hollywood. It's faked. A lot of it. What they were doing before they got to Hollywood. Maybe they were real investigators. I don't know them, but Tasha, before we move on, a quick question from Matt in the chat. He wants to know, during your time of doing this, have you ever used Ouija boards or done any seances, even years ago?
I have not personally used the Ouija board, but I went to one of my friend's houses and he was doing it. Scared the hell out of me. But I don't know. I don't deal with that.
And you just don't like him, or you had a bad experience? You said it scared you when he was doing it?
I'm not going to say it was a bad experience, but it was, it was scary because it literally what my friend Andy was asking, and it spelled it out, and I don't. Oh no!
Right.
I don't deal with that.
And
he dealt with voodoo dolls too, so I was really underneath the hill there. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's more black magic than actual
Thank
paranormal.
You, Matt, for asking that. But
yeah, and another question from Ted: have you done any haunted cemeteries in Kentucky or up in Naperville?
I haven't done any up here, but I think every cemetery is haunted. I don't care where you go. What is the one that my fiance was talking about? Bachelor's Grove. Do you know where that's at, Brett?
No, not offhand, but you know what? It sounds familiar. I wonder why. I don't think I've ever been there.
Okay, well, let's ask them. If y'all know about that place, which I've not been there, and I don't want to go there because I'm trying to skirt. I'm done. But if anybody knows about that place, apparently that's the place to go.
Why does that sound so familiar?
What do you say? 35 minutes from Naperville.
It's got to be some in Chicago. I know some of them cemeteries up in Chicago are really haunted, but Bachelor's Grove, that sounds really familiar. I'm positive I haven't been there, though, so.
Anyway, well, hey, remember that night when me and you, many years ago, this is a reunion show, by the way, everybody, because I've known this little nut.
We used to do radio together.
Yeah, we've been part of Really Counters International, and I invited you to come speak at my conferences, and I've known you a long time. You've been through a whole lot, and I thank God you finally. I'm not going to elaborate, but I thank God that you're in a better position in your life than where you were. And I don't mean as in state. I mean as in everything, include state, because certain things that me and you know. But remember that night when we were on the phone, and all of a sudden you just screamed, and I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" And you're like, somebody or something just threw a lamp at me, and then all of a sudden crash, and I could hear it in the background, and then you're like, oh my God. Remember what happened next? Your Bible said put up in flames. You remember that night? You want to tell everybody about that?
And that happened.
Yeah.
Not the whole Bible went up in flames. It was just the Revelations part got threw out, and that's what caught fire.
Well, still something that, I don't know how you're not the one that took the light to it.
Picked itself back up. I've got it on camera, and I had a motion detector. If people want to talk about using equipment and all that, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was something in that room with a Zippo lighting it on fire.
Like, oh God! And then the damn oven. Oh, excuse my language. The oven caught on fire.
Yeah.
Now that could have been an electrical problem, but
isn't
the
that
other
what
stuff that happened before that?
Isn't that what ovens do? Catch on fire?
If they're gas.
I mean, mine does, but I mean, I have gas though.
Okay, here we go. It's going to be a comedy hour. I can see it now. Okay, let's just get to the real deal. Now, was there stuff leading up? Was there stuff leading up to that? I'm trying to run a show here, people. Brett, tell her to behave. We are. I'm sorry, Brett. I meant we, bro. You know that. Hey, was there stuff that led up to it? Sweetheart,
yeah,
you there?
Yeah. Or can you hear me?
I'm about to get mad on as a guest. You go back and drink beer or whatever it was you were doing. I love you. No, anyway, you said it just kept coming and coming. It was just getting worse and worse.
It was when we moved in that apartment. The guy that lived there before committed suicide.
Right. Well, what did you tell somebody if they're, starting to notice just something that kind of like moving objects, being playful at once, just a little at a time. I mean, that's kind of how it goes, right? And then all of a sudden, HELL breaks loose. So you just had little things at a time, and then boom, right?
Yeah, at first we did.
Yeah.
And then it just, I don't know. I guess when he, and that's sensitive in me when I connected. And I was like, oh, now I know what's going on. And then it just literally went, whoo.
Well, besides breaks, I know I was on the phone with you that night. What did you do? Besides, I'm sure you probably too. I heard you, but what'd you do at that point? I mean, you stayed up all night.
Right.
You're pretty. I bet you were freaked out. I would have been.
I was praying.
Right. What happened the rest of the night? Were you anything else?
I slept in the car.
You slept in the car?
Yep.
So were you safe out in the car, or did this thing follow you out there too?
No.
Okay. I'm no spiritual. I'm no attachments that'll literally follow you anywhere you go.
At least I got some sleep at night. No, that ain't funny.
No, it ain't.
No, literally with stuff moving, and what do they call it, a poltergeist or something?
Poltergeist, yes. Absolutely.
Okay. It was crazy. I said, no, I am out, and I'm going to sleep somewhere else. And when I was sleeping in the car, nothing happened.
So it didn't follow you.
My car did messed up a day later. Wasn't my fault.
And you think that might have had something to do with it, or?
Yeah, I not even told my mom about that, and she was like, "Oh well, no, that ain't it." I know how this stuff works, and that's what I'm going to tell people right now, because they will mess with you every which way you go. I don't care if it's your car. I don't care if it's your health. I don't care if it's, I don't know, something in the house. relationships too.
Oh boy, yeah, absolutely. So now you got yourself a deer man. He sounds like a really great guy, and I look forward to maybe one of these days we can get him on here with you, or maybe y'all can get on our show, or have your own show on our network. But Matt sounds like a real great guy, and you treat your son really good. That's cool. We're not going to get into details on everything else, but all sincerity from me and Brett, and here at For Real Encounters Networks and at For Real Watchers Radio, we're very happy for you, and prayers do come true. That's cool. I mean, that is really cool. We're very happy for you. And marriage bells, wedding bells in the future, right? Soon? Or
Yeah. Can he say hi real quick?
sure, absolutely. Everybody, introduce yourself, Matt.
This is my fiance.
Hi, everybody. My name is Matt. A lot of people might know you or know me on Facebook as CPR Matt. Used to host Full Spectrum Radio Network. Been doing this for a long time too. So, yeah, and I've been listening, and there's been a lot of good points brought up from both sides, and I'd definitely like to, whenever there's some time, shed my own light on a lot of these subjects and topics. So, just let me know. I mean,
Matt, where are you from? Are you from up that way north, or you also from down south? Okay.
Originally, I grew up in Houston, but I've lived in Chicago for over 30 years.
Jerry lives in Texas.
So I grew up just outside of Houston, and then moved up here when I was like 8 years old. I'm 40 now, so lived here for 32 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. I'll talk to Jerry and see if we can book you a slot sometime in the future. Sounds good to me.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, Matt, when I found out you were from Texas, I was like, I asked that. Not only did I already like you as a gentleman because you did talk so great about you and how you are with her and the kids. I mean, man, I was like, and he's from where? She said Texas. Oh, hell, I love him. I love him. He's number one in my book. Hey, man, congratulations to you guys. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. But yeah, we'll definitely get you on. I mean, if you want, hang around tonight. I mean, you guys are right there together. And I always do things with my wife normally, and y'all, what do you think, Brett? I ain't got a problem. We'll have a surprise guest on here.
No, that's sounds
beautiful.
fine.
How much more time you got?
Oh, we got 30 more minutes.
30 minutes.
All right, 30 more minutes. I can fill that myself.
He does like to talk.
All right, so just to give you a quick background, I started CPR, Chicagoland Paranormal Researchers, officially with my friend Mark Betts. We've been riding together for a long time, motorcycles, and neither of us knew, and we were really, really close friends, but neither of us knew that we were both in the paranormal for probably about 10 years. So,
really?
Then we started doing it. One of my friends, Samantha, she ended up starting to go places with us, and we were just doing, kind of local, like folklore, just that kind of stuff. So then when we started getting a little more serious about it, and getting more active in the paranormal community around the Chicagoland area, which is very, very large.
Okay.
One of my dear friends who, anybody who watches any of the paranormal shows or anything as far as Chicago history has probably seen her on, is Ursula Bielski.
I've sure heard of him, yes.
She also hosts every year, well, not with COVID, but every year hosts the Chicago Ghost Conference. Obviously, it was pushed off last year because of everything going on, but I've helped her organize that. We've been very, very, over the years, proactive in education as far as what the do's and don'ts of investigation, as far as not so much the way you conduct them, but people doing it illegally or, doing it unsafe to where they're breaking into buildings that are condemned and falling to the floor. We had a couple local investigators die actually at a location because they broke in. They didn't have permission. The cops showed up. They tried to run. They fell to floor fell out, and they dropped 7 stories down an elevator shaft. So do a lot of stuff with that, but there's I remember when a little bit ago when you guys were talking about attachments, I had a pretty significant one for years, and I can summarize this actually pretty quickly. So this is one of the folklore things that we were urban legend, if you will, that we were checking out. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of, and they have them all over the country, but it's called Help Road, H-E-L-P Road.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that legend at all?
I haven't. Jerry, have you?
I have, brother. No, I haven't. But we're listening.
So Help Road is basically, and like I said, there's one probably in every state or every city all throughout the country. The legend is that there was a guy and a girl on a motorcycle, or a guy and a girl were coming home from prom, and they ended up getting in a wreck. And in a last-ditch effort, the guy or the girl crawled up out of the ditch to the road and wrote help in their own blood. And then no matter what, like over the years, it never goes away. It always stains the road. And even if they repave it, it comes back, and it's the site of a death. So me and my friend Mark were like, why not? Let's go check it out. So we went out to this place called Help Road. It's actually Cherry Road in Oswego, Illinois, which is about 20 minutes west of me. And so we're out there kind of messing around, asking questions, just, seeing what kind of responses that we get. And mind you, it's cornfields all around, and it's a 90-degree curve. So we're like, hey, perfect spot, right?
Right.
So I ended up starting to get some little bit of activity. I had a rock, not a rock, but a little that gravel pebble stuff, limestone that they have on the shoulders. I had one of those hit me in the chest, which the wind isn't strong enough to pick up a limestone pebble. So that was kind of interesting. Got home, checked it out, a couple voices here and there. So we started going back, a few times. And one thing that I always do, I never provoke, because that's the terrible thing to do. Because would you want somebody walking into your living room when you're sitting there watching? And the other thing I don't do is I don't ask, hey, is anybody here? Does anybody want to talk to me?
That's what I was talking about.
I'm not going to go into I'm not going to walk into your house while you're sitting there watching TV and ignore you and ask if anybody's there and wants to talk to me. You're going to be like, no, get out of my house. What is wrong with you?
Pretty good point there.
So anyway, we were out there doing that and went back a few more times and started catching rapport and more conversations. So we did a little bit of research through local law enforcement and at the library, which we did find out that in 1984, which I have the full 57-page police report, there was a woman's body that was found in the farmer's irrigation well, whose name is Audrey Moore, Moore, and she was kind of a vagrant out of Chicago, was into drugs and stuff like that. So, and she was found with her wrist bound to her neck with barbed wire and her legs bound together. And the way the farmer found her was he was irrigating the well, or irrigating his field, and her body was sucked up into the pump.
Good.
And when he found the clog, then he found her. So after a while, it was a bunch of us, like Jeff Mudgett, who's the author of Bloodstains, H.H. Holmes' great-great-grandson. Ursula was out there. Jeff and Nancy Resman. Just a bunch of us got together for dinner, like right around Halloween. And Jeff had written he just grabbed a pencil. We were at a sushi restaurant. He grabbed a pencil and he wrote it on the chopstick wrapper, just a couple notes, and he slid across the table with me. He goes, does this mean anything to you? And I was like, what? He goes, well, there's been this young blonde that's been like walking back and forth and like, staring at you and checking you out. And this is before Tasha, and I was single at the time. I was like, hey, well, where is she? Where'd she go? He goes, no. He goes, she's not physically here. she's physically here, but not physically, like you can't touch her, you can't talk to her. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? He goes, look at the wrapper. And so I opened it up, and there was a whole bunch of notes on there, and he was spot on to where it said, if I remember correctly, it's been years, but it said, young girl, mid-20s, blonde, 5'4", very cute. Very cute. And
that ain't her.
And he's like, does that mean anything to you? I was like, well, yeah, kind of. He goes, well, she's telling me that there's something more that I'm supposed to be telling you. And he goes, was her name like Aubrey or something like that? Or Aubrey or Audrey? And she's telling me there's something more that I should be telling you. And I was like, do you mean her name is Audrey Moore? And he goes, boy. Yes, that's exactly what she's saying. He's like, yeah, because she just walked up right next to you, and I got real cold before he said it. He goes, she walked up right next to you, slammed her hands on the table, looked me dead in the face, and said, tell him now.
Whoa.
And that was 4.5 years after we started going out to this place.
Man. So that was long after she'd been dead, right? I mean,
yeah, she died in 1984, and that was probably 10 years ago now.
Yeah. Good God, man. So, I mean, he just out of the blue says, she said, now. I mean, I mean, come on now. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. So you're just like sitting there going, you can see her. I mean, she's right here. I mean, this guy had a gift of seeing, right? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, Jeff and Nancy Resman, they are, both him and his wife are sensitives, but they also do have the visual ability to see spirits as well.
That's cool. Got a quick question for you there, Matt, from Ken. He wants to know, do you know anything about Bachelor's Grove up that way?
I've been out there a whole bunch of times.
Okay, anything good, interesting? Anything you found out there?
Well, there's a lot of the activity that happens out there. The problem with Bachelor's Grove is you can't go out there at night. So and I'm not saying that you have to investigate at night, but when you're doing an outdoor location, there's usually a lot less traffic. And considering when you're standing in the cemetery, you can see a 4-lane highway across a pond. So, I mean, there's a lot of traffic during the day.
Okay.
So the stuff, when we've gotten permission to be there after hours, there are a lot, and they actually touched on the Ghost Adventures episode, is over. Yeah, I know.
That's nice. You gotta be nice.
Me, I was supposed to be the guest.
So
nice.
We did see we did see the lights in the forest. We did see we have gotten partial apparitions during broad daylight. Nobody was smoking, nobody was doing anything. There were no bonfires or anything going on.
Okay.
But there have been a lot of times that we've been out there that since like Ursula and myself and a lot of the other Len Dorman and a lot of the other people that are real passionate about that place go out, and they know us now, so they kind of play with us a little bit, and just like you'll get touched on. Like when you're a kid and you're standing next to somebody and you touch them on the other shoulder so they turn the other direction.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what they do is they touch, and you look over at the person next to you. Did you just touch me? No, I didn't touch you. It's like a distinctive tap. I had there was one time that I was that we were out there and I was doing we were shooting a promotional video, and I brought my drone out there, and it's well over $1,000 drone. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying to give you an idea of the quality. Like it's not like a Walmart one. That so
the builder by trade, buddy.
So I sent it up in the air. So I sent it up in the air, and it gets about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 feet off the ground because I was going to get like a decent amount of aerial footage and not like eyesight footage. And I was sitting there, and I had it in hover mode, and then all of a sudden, it beelined like it was in sport mode as fast as it possibly could, slammed into a tree, and blew into a bunch of pieces.
Good God.
So what was weird about that, besides that happening, was it data records like altitude and speed and all that stuff that you can go back and you can see like where you were, and it shows where you were on the map.
Is that the time I cut your finger?
No, that was a different time.
Oh.
So when that happened, when I went back and I looked at the data about that flight, it said that I was doing 9,000 miles an hour vertically, and I was like 17,000 feet altitude. So whatever the drone sent back, it just completely was like obliterated because it slammed in the tree, but it said it was like going ridiculously fast at like 17,000 feet in the air when I was only 5 feet off the ground.
Wow.
Why are we talking about a drone?
So Matt, you sound like, so you say you've been up there for a while. Is that right in Naperville, or are you more in Chicago, or what?
Naperville's about 35 miles directly west of downtown.
Okay.
It's the third largest city in the state. Like it's Chicago being the largest, and then Aurora, Illinois, which is the city right next to us. Which Aurora is is right next to Oswego, where that Cherry Road is, that the Help Road I was talking about.
Okay.
So it's all it's the suburbs. It's like, but yeah, I mean there's a lot of history around here. There's a building that's downtown. They have a place downtown Naperville called Naper Settlement, and there is an original house back from like 1887, I believe, is when, or 1889 when Naperville was founded. It is the original house that was on the property, and I kid you not, almost every time that I drive past, I have seen a moving figure in the same upstairs window of a female. I've volunteered at that place many, many times. I've been in that house many, many times. There is no, like in a lot of older places like that, they have the silhouette where women used to hang their dresses. There are no figure silhouettes in that room.
Wow.
Are you typing in there? Who's typing?
I cut him off.
But anyways, okay. Well, welcome back, Tasha. So,
well, I've been sitting there.
I got stories.
Oh my God! Now this is entertaining because I don't know, between me and him, he talks more than I do. Anyway, let's go to the question or chat room.
No questions. No questions yet. They were asking about the Bachelor's Grove, and I think they're more interested in the history up there, or some good haunted places, or some of the experiences you've been involved in.
Well, I just moved up here almost 5 months ago, so I don't, and like I said, I'm not that involved like I used to be, but I can tell you about a lot of Kentucky stuff.
Okay, and I take it you're not into drones either then, right?
Well, I do have one for my son.
Okay.
We just sit in the back seat. We put it in
the car?
Yeah.
I haven't been in the car.
Oh, no. Well, I got this cheap drone that I got from my son. Oh, well.
I hide my good one.
Well, she's going to have to hide a lot of shit. Ooh, stuff.
Well, Tasha, we got, I don't know, Jerry, about 10 minutes left. So, yeah, let's back it up back to Kentucky then. What's some of the most interesting places you've been in? You said you've mostly worked alone down there, or is that what I heard?
Yeah, for most of it. Yeah. Okay. I brought up Whitehall in Richmond, Kentucky.
Okay.
There is a place in Lexington if you want to go there. It's called Ashland. and that's actually Cassius Clay's cousin, Henry Clay.
Okay.
It's off Richmond Road. And Bobby Mackey's. I went to Mammoth Cave, and now I think that place is really crazy, considering the history of it.
Crazy how? Like just haunted, I assume?
Well, I wouldn't say haunted, but yeah, just like what he said, it more the Native Americans are around, and you can just feel it, the energy.
Okay. Well, a quick question for you: any UFO experiences? That's one of the questions in the chat. No.
Well, unless you want to bring in my family, like they out there.
Now, any?
No.
What's that?
No, no. On a serious note, no.
Nothing
No,
like
I
that.
ain't never done with that. What's the next thing we going to ask about? Bigfoot?
Yeah, they run wild here in North Carolina. Yep.
What do you think about that? Because they keep saying, I've never experienced that at all, but they keep saying that they see Bigfoot out there in the eastern Kentucky mountains.
Yeah, I think Bigfoot's been spotted in every state. What do you think, Jerry? You got him in Texas too?
Everywhere. I think every bar we got down here's got Bigfoot.
I know there's plenty Bigfoots walking up and down the streets in Chicago. I know that. Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's the murder capital of the world. A bunch of Bigfoots are up there shooting people.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyways, so no Bigfoot, no UFOs, just straight up paranormal ghosts, huh? So any in all your experiences, any demonic activity? Something you're absolutely sure was demonic?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier with the lamp moving and stuff catching on fire.
Any idea what brought it in there? You said this was what you think's attached to you, or?
No, I hope not. But there was a guy that, when I moved in that apartment, he literally killed himself before I moved in. And then that's a different story. No, that's a different place.
The place that made you move out is what I'm saying.
They had the, what you call it, the pentagram up in the attic. And this dude had raped the girl, and I literally had to call in, shout out, Kentucky Paranormal Team, but I had them come in.
Okay, and what did they do?
They tried to, they used some equipment, but it didn't help. And they blessed, there was one dude who was an ordained priest, and tried to bless the house with the anointing oil. Did it help? You know what happened after that? It got worse.
Well, sometimes it does. Yeah, it's I don't know. We've had other shows like that. People running in with their equipment and their anointing oil or holy water, or whatever, and don't know what they're doing. Not that this was the case. I don't know what's going on, but.
So, what do you think your most haunted places that you've ever done, hon? What do you think it is?
Me?
Yeah.
No, Bigfoot.
Yeah, we're talking to Bigfoot now. Okay.
Well, there was a cemetery mausoleum, but that was pretty bad. But that's normal. I personally think it was Whitehall.
You think White House is the only one that was any remotely scary? I mean, at all the ones you've done?
Yeah, but it wasn't bad.
Okay. Well, basically what we're trying to get to is get to us a story that's bone chilling. Let's get our audience involved here in the chat room, and let's give us something that, I mean, walk us through it. I know you've talked to me about some before in the way in the past, and I know you haven't done it in a while, but I know when you were doing your radio show and you were host, and you used to get a lot of good guests, but you used to tell your story a lot. And man, I mean, you've come up with some pretty bone chilling stories back in the days, and that's why I really, really want you to just dig in there, try to remember and share this with some of our audience, because we get a lot of listeners that are some of them they're very young, as far as they're just now getting into the paranormal. We do get skeptics like anybody else, and a lot of people just stick around to hear it, to be open minded that maybe this is real, and some people's had encounters and they're like, well, I need to maybe get a little more knowledge and more education about this. Help us help them, would you please? Give us one of your investigations where you went in, you knew the minute you got there, the chills, you just knew. I mean, the building was looking at you, you're looking at it and saying, oh no, this is going to be real interesting.
I knew what's going to happen with Whitehall, because let me start it out like this. When I was in 5th grade, and I'm old, but we took a field trip down there. I knew, and I was even drawn back then. But then when I did my own stuff, and, I said I had like 7 people with me, there was, I don't know which one I'm going to start with, but the temperature rising in the room, like 15 degrees, almost like instant.
Yeah.
When I laid on Cassius Clay's bed, I told you about that, Jerry. It was crazy.
Let's tell the audience about that.
We set this ball, like this purple ball, and we was trying to draw it, because he killed one of his kids and shoved her in the fireplace, by the way. And we set this ball on the top of the steps, and of course it moved by itself, and you already know about that. But there it went.
So the ball kept moving. You set it up by the steps. Where'd it move?
We had it at the top of the step. My daughter was there at the investigation with me, which I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but she had set it at the top of the steps, and she said something like, well, there ain't nothing here. I'll be damned if they ain't. There was no window open. There ain't nothing going on. It flew down the steps. And then when it got down to the bottom of the steps, it was just like keep rocking around me, because I was sitting at the bottom of the steps, and it just kept rolling around me.
Okay, now you and Matt, when you moved up there close to Chicago, I don't even remember the name of it, but when you moved in there, you said that somebody killed themselves there, and you guys have had some activity in that house. You or Matt to tell us? How about Matt? You want to get him back in here, Matt? You want to tell us what happened?
Keep in mind, Jerry, we're down to 3 minutes left.
Oh, we're down to 3 minutes.
Might not want to dig too deep.
No, that wasn't when,
any place can be haunted, but
that wasn't when we moved. When she moved here or any of that stuff. Like it wasn't the location. I've never experienced anything here at all.
See, I'm good for picking up stuff.
Even after she said that she was getting experiences, like I'd pull out the SB7, the FLIR camera, my Zoom HP4. Like I set up a whole bunch of stuff, and I got 0. So and I've been here a long time, but
right.
Maybe
let me ask you this, buddy. I mean, Matt, you planning on? I know you used to be with 5 Star Radio, right? And then, I mean, as far as the network, are you planning on you two maybe doubling up and getting back into radio, or is that just kind of dead, or what's going on there? Are you going to get back into it?
Possibly. I owned and still own Full Spectrum Radio Network. So I was never involved with the 5 Star stuff, but
no, that was me.
That was her.
That was her. Yeah. Okay, so you were Full Spectrum. She was with 5 Star. So there's their plan to get her on board with you, and you guys be do your own show?
How about we do this? I'll set up a time on my network and we can simulcast it to where I have 2 hours of time plus an hour archive. So I can set up on my network, we can simulcast, we can talk about it and go more in depth about this stuff since you're running out of time now.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anywhere people can find you all at?
If you're looking for the paranormal aspect, on Facebook, I got Struggling Paranormal Researchers. The like page, there's CPR Matt is my personal page that I use, but I'm maxed out on friends, but you can still follow me. I don't really do much with the paranormal stuff anymore, but if people have questions, they can always shoot me a message, and I'll
And as far as music, Dirt Rock Empire.
Right. Well, sounds good to me. So,
right.
Jerry, we are out of time. You want to take us out?
Well, it has definitely been interesting, and then some. I want to thank you, Tasha, for coming on. Tasha Starr, ladies and gentlemen, we thank her for coming on, and also Matt. Thank you, sir, for coming in there and talking to us, a guest appearance. We kind of appreciate that. I want to thank Ross out there at Paranormal King Radio Network, man.
Ross.
Every week. Meanwhile, we're going to get out of here, y'all. It's been a great time. Everybody out there, go check us out at For Real Encounters Networks, and go check out this show, many other shows. All of our shows are up here in the archive. If you want to go check out this show, it'll be there, but all of our other ones for this year are there. We're going to get out of here next week. We have got some pretty amazing person coming on again. Check us out. Spread the word. Please subscribe, like, comment, and we're more than welcome to let you share it. But please support us. And just, hey, we'll catch you next time. Brett, what do you think? We out of here?
Yeah, we're out of here, y'all. Everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully see y'all next Friday. And until then, be safe out there. That's all I have. Night, all.
God bless y'all. Good night.